Good morning, girls. We'll continue the same topic, electromagnetic induction. Children, yesterday I told you that the phenomenon of inducing a current, right, in a coil, when it is subjected to a magnetic field, this phenomenon is called electromagnetic induction. Okay, and we did an activity like this was a coil which is attached to a galvanometer. A galvanometer, I told you, is an instrument which detects the presence of the current, right? And if there is a bar magnet placed here with north and south poles, so what will happen? The Because there is continuous motion of the bar magnet in and out of the coil, the current gets induced in the coil. Yes, this is called induced current. And I also told you that the galvanometer has a pointer always at 0. This is 0, right? And when there is a deflection or when there is a current flowing in the coil, there is a deflection in the galvanometer. Then I also told you that the galvanometer has two scales, both the sides of 0, right side as well as the left side. Now, today I want to tell you two factors, means which based on this induced current. Actually, what is happening when we are bringing the magnet inside the coil or outside the coil, or when it is continuously in motion, actually the potential difference is created near the ends of the coil, right? Potential difference we have studied in the chapter electricity. Now, when this potential difference is induced in the coil, definitely the current starts flowing. Yeah, yes? And you know that normally we create potential difference in a circuit with the help of a battery. But here we have no battery. We are only using a bar magnet, that is a magnetic field around it. We are just bringing it inside and taking it outside. So this is in continuous motion, which induces a potential difference in the coil and due to which the current is flowing. Now there is another term which is used for potential difference. You might encounter that, and that is the word EMF. So we can also say that an EMF, an induced EMF is created near the coil, due to which what happens? The current flows in the coil, and this is called the induced current. Yes, this is one point you have to remember. Now you also know that if we bring the magnet inside the coil, the intensity of the magnetic field increases, right? Now there is another factor, that the current which is flowing in the coil depends on the magnetic field. Yes, and the magnetic field intensity is given by the word magnetic flux. This is not given in your book. You can remember this point. So we can say that the intensity of the magnetic field also changes, because if this is a coil, right? If this is a coil and we are bringing the bar magnet inside the coil, outside the coil, inside, outside, so definitely the magnetic field intensity changes, and because of this intensity being changing, the current which is flowing in the coil also gets affected. The intensity of the magnetic field, we can use the word magnetic flux. Okay, so we can say that I is directly proportional to the magnetic flux, or we can say that it directly depends on the magnetic field which is subjected to the coil. Okay, so these are the 2 points which you have to remember, that potential difference is created across the ends of the coil, which is also called the EMF, and because of this potential difference, the current flows in the coil. Then the current flowing in the coil depends on what? Magnetic flux, that is the intensity of the magnetic field. Right. Now there is one more activity. There are two coils in this activity which is given in your textbook. Activity 2. We take coil A, right, and coil B. Fine. This is coil A and coil B. The first coil we attach it to the battery and the key, and the second coil we attach it to the same coil, that is A. A and B are connected, but this is attached to a galvanometer. Galvanometer will detect the presence of the current. Now what we are doing is, we supply the current. You know, when the connections are complete, the current will flow in this coil. And you know that this is a conductor. So a current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. All these topics we have completed in the previous videos. So a current carrying coil will behave like a magnet. So definitely this coil, which is behaving like a magnet, will have a magnetic field around it. Right? Now this magnetic field, because this coil is now subjected to this magnetic field, there will be induced current in the coil B. And how will we come to know? There will be a deflection in the galvanometer. So I repeat, we take two coils A and B, connections with the battery and the key, right? When the current flows in this coil or in the conductor, it starts behaving like a magnet, because a current carrying conductor always behaves like a magnet. There is a magnetic field generated around it. Okay, as the current flows in this coil, immediately we see a deflection in the galvanometer. Why? Because this conductor, which is now behaving like a magnet, and this is a coil which is placed next to it, that means it is placed in the magnetic field now, will develop a potential difference across the two ends of the coil, and therefore the current will be induced in coil B. Okay, and we will see the deflection of the galvanometer either left or right depending on the direction of the current. Okay, galvanometer also shows the direction of the current, remember that. So this is activity. So here we gave a name to coil A as the primary coil, and coil B is called the secondary coil. Because this is secondary, because the current is getting induced in coil B because of coil A. So this is a primary coil and this is a secondary coil. And if I change the connections, if I put battery here and galvanometer here, and therefore what will happen? A will become the secondary coil and B will become the primary coil. Okay, so this is another activity. And yes, one more thing is there. We can maintain, now as we studied in the previous activity, that there will be a continuous motion of, like if this is a coil, and this is a bar magnet, there is a continuous motion, then only the current will be induced. Now how can we maintain the motion in this? We cannot keep on moving the coil. So what we are doing is we are continuously putting the key in the on and the off position, due to which what will happen, the supply of the current will go on, it will stop for a second, will go on. That means a continuous motion of this current is maintained, this magnetic field is maintained, and therefore because of this what will happen, the current will be induced. So I hope you followed what I said. As we cannot keep on moving the coil in and out, this coil in and out of this coil, what happens, we keep on changing the connection. That means we first keep it in the on off, continuously on and off position, due to which what will happen, the magnetic field intensity will keep on changing, and this magnetic field intensity will keep on changing, and that will induce the current in the coil B. Okay, so this is the activity which is given in your textbook. You can read it, and if you have any doubt, children, you can ask me. And we also studied that we can find the direction of the current flowing in the coil by which rule? By Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, so you will study this, you will write this activity for your practice, you will write this activity in your notebook, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me. And I also told you one more thing, that this activity or this invention was done by Michael Faraday, right? Because you notice that and the experiment which was done before was given by Oersted. Okay, Oersted said that when a current flows in a conductor, it starts behaving like a magnet. Okay, this is what the Oersted said. So Michael Faraday, gave the reverse phenomenon of what we studied in the Oersted experiment. That means when current flows in a coil or a conductor, it behaves like a magnet, and we can by Michael Faraday's experiment, we come to know that when magnetic field is subjected to a coil or a conductor, then the current flows in the coil, okay, and that current is called the induced current. So these two processes are reverse of each other, these two phenomena are reverse of each other, and you will complete this work till today. And in the next week we will study what is electric generator, and we will compare electric generator with what, electric motor. Okay, so I will give you the notes on this topic. If you want to write, you can write, otherwise you can read your book, you will be able to understand. And any doubts, children, you can ask me. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.